All right, folks. Yeah, let's talk. I got to talk about this Trump thing. I got to do it. I try not to. I try to stick on, war and doom and gloom and food and shortages. And, when I started the channel, I would talk about this kind of stuff a lot. It intrigued me. I was very different back then. I believed in unicorns and other stuff like that. But this whole thing, uh, and where we're at right now is going to get really, really interesting. So there's a Drudge Report poll out. I don't watch Drudge or go to him anymore, but it says 64% of the people that polled there said basically Trump is innocent or will be acquitted or mistrial or it won't go down. That's what they're saying. So 64% there of the People's poll. Just saw a Piers Morgan interview with Dennis Quaid. Dennis Quaid is actually going to be playing Reagan here in August. I think it is. The movie comes out. It's a biographic, whatever they call it. And he said, Trump is an asshole, but he's my asshole. So I guess he's voting for him. And this is not a pro-Trump thing. This is a anti-weaponization of our justice system. And that's another thing Mr. Dennis Quaid said. And what you're really, really seeing now with all of this and why this is concerning. This is not good. So why? Because, well, when you're losing power, you're going to flail about. And you're going to do whatever the heck it is you can to stay in power. And that's what you're seeing right now from the illustrious leftist progressives. Don't ever call them liberal. There's absolutely nothing liberal about them, okay? Liberal would be like John Locke, Voltaire. No, there's no liberal. Progressive, leftist. I don't know. There's numerous other words I could describe. I'm just mad because when you get to the point where you're willing to trash the system to win, I think at that point you need a nice swift kick to the nuts. I do. The whole thing is a charade. If Trump did something wrong, okay. The jury is evidently really confused, and so generally what they do is they allow them to get like a paperwork, and they send it home. And it's got all the like bullet points and things, so they can kind of jog their memory and look over it. Well, this didn't happen. The judge just basically said, here, I'll tell you what he said. Let's not mince words. Let's not mince words. So he said they do not need to be unanimous on what crime they think Trump is guilty of. Talk about like just get him. There's so let's go up. Let's get some perspective here. There he is. There he is. Ooh, ooh! Look at him. Ooh, man! If they get into office, the country is over. Just like in 2016, it's over. We will never survive. Actually, we're pretty damn financially off, at that point. And I remember I was an inadvertent landlord at a house that I had purchased from the global financial crisis. I had bought it and got the HUD and all that, and bought into the $8,000 credit and crap from Obama. I was young and dumb and full of come get some, and I bought into it. And excuse me. And 2017, almost 10 years later, still couldn't sell the house. Had a girl barely covering everything. I was losing about $200 a month, and she just basically, it was such a deal for her, she couldn't leave. But she didn't trash the place, and she kept renting from us. We were in a different state, like, 800 miles away, or 500 miles away. Anyway, a good distance away. And Trump got into office, and the housing market started going again, and I looked for the best realtor in the area, and I said, I just need this thing sold. I can't do it anymore. I don't care what it is. And we lost some money, but, we've made it back in other ways. In the ultimate scheme of things, it was, not hot, but lesson learned. We've recovered and all that, and I don't own it anymore. And I honestly think it's a lot because Trump was in office and the economy started to really hit. People were buying homes. It was, very different. It's 2017. So here we are. This Michael Tyler guy, he's saying that they're not going to win. Current polls are terrible. Anybody notice that if your gas in your area has gone down? I think that's due to the gas thing that Biden did last week, where he took the emergency 1,000,000 gallons and basically added it to everybody's stuff or whatever. It's like sold it all. I don't know what he did. He made it so it got into the supply and to bring the prices down. And I mean, 25 cents down is pretty good, pretty significant. I noticed because I filled up yesterday. I was like, wait a second. I filled up at Sam's, so it's only like 12 cents less now, so I don't feel as bad. But check this out. This is Attorney General Andrew Bailey. Said, this is insanity. I've tried many jury trials in my day. You give jurors paper instructions every time. How are 12 jurors supposed to remember the elements necessary for each of the 34 felony counts? This is an illicit witch hunt prosecution. To which Jonathan Turley, who is, very good at what he does, he said he has ruled that the jury will not give copies of the instructions, but ask them to be read to them again. So they can ask people to read them to them again, which evidently is very strange and stupid. So yeah, this is insanity. Attorney Andrew, Bailey said. Everybody else said, Merchant, basically, this guy, this there he is. I think you can guess who, what political aisle put his butt into the judge seat. But yeah, they can split 4-4-4 on all the different counts. They don't have to be unanimous. They can just split on stuff. Be like, I think he's kind of guilty here and a little bit there. So I mean, it just basically means that they're gonna do whatever they can, And what does that look like? I mean, Robert De Niro was in the street yesterday, and he almost got chased off by some rabid Trump supporters that were really aggravated that he'd come down and the end of our democracy. I mean, what a stupid statement. If you understand the way the Constitution works, no, your democracy is not threatened. I mean, what we used to do, I'm old enough to remember, I'm 50 years old. I remember back in the day, this is what they used to do. We'll say 30 years ago. You would go out and you'd have this thing called a political platform, okay? And you would say, I'm going to raise taxes, or I'm going to lower taxes, or I'm going to, work on health care, or I'm not going to work on health care. I'm going to try and do a jobs package. And you'd lay out a bunch of political promises, okay? And you'd say, hey, we're going to do these things, and this is what the platform is. And people go, oh, well, that sounds good. I want more jobs. Or, wow, bringing the price of gas down sounds great. Well, how are you going to do that, sir? And then you go out and vote for them, and then ultimately they'd probably let you down. But, you went into the voting booth like, all right, my guy's got some mojo. And now here we are. Like, they're just like, okay, what we're going to do is we're going to trash him on the justice system. Why? Because our political platform sucks. We're polling like crap, and everybody hates the administration. So let's bring in lawfare, and let's go that way. You know, I mean, why would you want to have a smidgen of integrity and actually try to win on your own volition and, like, you know, intelligence and platform and all that? No. Let's rape the system and freaking, you know, urinate all over it, and then with the flaming carcass that's left, we'll pretend that we have a country still. I mean, the abject arrogance of it. I mean, seriously, it's aggravating. And it's ticking off not just people on the right. I think it's really ticking off people that do have a vested interest and care about the trajectory of the country, even if they're of the leftist political cloth. So, you know, I mean, the real estate thing in Florida, that's a joke. The Jack Smith thing is a joke. That's basically on its last legs. It's probably going to get chucked out. The Fannie Willis thing, she's, you know, hiring people so she can do them and go on vacation. And then, you know, it's just, I mean, it's like, they're like, well, you know what, our platform sucks. We're not going to beat him. Let's just try to get him so he goes to jail. You know, like, and it's got to be so frustrating for him because every time they do this crap, he gets better poll numbers. Even today, his numbers are unchanged because people just know how corrupt it is. They see it. They see how corrupt it is. It's like, it's a joke at this point. But the problem is that this joke is the system that my child has to live with. So it kind of aggravates me. Going to be honest with you folks. Okay? I mean, I want my kids growing up in some semblance of the country that I did. And if the political party is willing to trash the whole system, so they can, you know, defeat the person and stay in power. I mean, no. And the funny thing is that, you know, these jurors are everything, you know, they're supposedly all confused. Well, of course you are. The whole case is a joke. The evidence is crappy. You know, and the whole thing is just, it's, I don't know. Everybody's hoping that the guy that gets his news from Truth Social will be the lone holdout, and everything will work towards Trump's favor. So I don't know. They adjourned tonight at 9:30. So I don't know if that looks good or bad. I don't know. But this is, you know, it's a joke at this point. So let's go into it. Ooh, can you handle it? Here he is, it's going to ruin our democracy. Oh, however will we? I know what we should do. We should become communists. Idiots. 7 men, 5 women, instructed to begin deliberating. Well, you know, they did. And, you know, Juan Merchant, of course, is not exactly a fan of Orange Man. Most people aren't, you know. Most people think he's an a-hole or a butthead. He is. But like Dennis Quaid said, he's the right's butthead. You know, he's the right's a-hole, and he's fighting for him. So, quote, your verdict on each count you consider whether guilty or not must be unanimous. That is, each and every juror must agree to it. That said, you do not need to be unanimous on what crime they think Trump is. You should discuss the evidence and consult with each other, listen to each other, give one another's views careful consideration, and when you deliberate, you should do so with a view to reaching agreement when that can be done without surrendering an individual juror. So all the evidence from the trial has been loaded onto a laptop, and Juror 4 and Juror 6 volunteered to operate it for the group. So they've got everything they need there. Merchant checked with the defense attorney, Todd Blanche, about whether the defense counsel explained to Trump about evidence. They affirmed that. So, then, of course, you know, they closing arguments happened, and evidently, where is it? Oh, they're fighting over Cohen. You know, Michael Cohen, the proven to lie in court guy that no other case on the planet would ever use as a witness. You know, basically they got him, and the guy said, hey, you know, I'm going to say that he's a liar and he's been caught in this in court before, and the judge freaked out and said, you can't do that. So, I mean, the whole thing is just, it's to a level of absurdity that, it is what it is. It's just absurd. So, there you have it right there. So, there's one juror the people who worried about, and I share the worry, can't identify him or her, the judge orders, but seems less engaged and slightly irritable. And this is the guy that supposedly is getting all of his news from Truth Social. Of course, that's Trump's Twitter, or whatever the heck you want to call it, is his social media. I mean, this whole thing is a problem because it literally makes a joke of our system. It sets a precedent. And what these arrogant pieces of crap don't understand is if one party can do it, the other party can do it too. It's precedent. It's now happened, and you can do whatever has been done before. Doesn't mean it'll win or it'll work, but it means it can happen. And that's the problem. That's what these buttheads don't understand. I mean, they're literally to the point now where it's like by any means possible. They don't care. They don't care. They will trash the entire system. They will cloward and pivot us all to the poorhouse. They don't care. They just want to win. It is all about win, win, win. And they're going to do everything they can. And if that means trash the country, they'll trash the country. That's what you're dealing with. I mean, it's kind of scary. But that's what these, that's the problem with the power. They're in control, and they're just like, man, we're going for it. My White House, homie, So, I don't know. I just, how did we get here? I guess is what I'm really asking myself inside. I'm a child of the 80s and 90s. I remember political campaign after political campaign. I remember the debates between Reagan and Mondale. I remember Gary Hart getting into the big scandal. He was supposed to be the next big Democrat thing. And all of this stuff. And back then, you won. You won by outperforming, out debating, out, using all this stuff. And now it's just gotten to the point where the whole thing is trash. It's by any means possible. Whatever will do it to win, we will do it. If that means that things are questionable, then things are questionable. And so that in the background, there's got to be rich entities that are pushing all of this. And the only thing they care about is winning. That's it. So they're going to trash our country over this whole thing. So what's going to happen? Well, let's say Trump is acquitted. At that point, you're going to have, mostly peaceful protests all over the place. And they're going to, have CNN reporters, roasting by the fireside of people's furniture businesses. If they do get him, they say one person said the worst thing that's going to happen for Trump is it's a misdemeanor or, some light felony, and he'll have to wear the leg bracelet, but he can go to Mar-a-Lago, but he won't be able to campaign. And when you hear that, you're like, okay, well, clearly that's what they want. They want him not to campaign because his campaigns are like going to a rock show or something. I mean, you think you're seeing fish. So that's what they want to do. I think they just want to tie him up. And so he's got this, guilty moniker. And then they can keep him on the sidelines and not do the rallies and everything. And if he does, what I would do if I were him, I would set up everything in the house and do complete and total rallies, but just telecast it, stream it from from Mar-a-Lago. You mark my words, he would do just as well. There's always a way around it, and I think that's the most aggravating thing to all these people is that every time they do this stuff, his numbers go up. And I think they're just baffled. They're like, how does this happen? Man has defied everything, for better or for worse. So, I don't know. I mean, we're in uncharted territory, folks. So with all the crap going on, someone asked me last night, when's Taiwan and China going to go for it on the crisis report? A big, major, upsetting thing happening through this, I think, would provide enough chaos in the country, with mostly peaceful protests going on, that at that point you could see, China go for it or something like that. That's the other problem that these power by any means possible people don't understand. So anyway, if you like the video and everything and what we're doing, up here in the right-hand corner, there's 3 dots. You hit those 3 dots, you hit the like button, you hit the share button, you hit the dislike button, whatever. But yeah, go in and engage, leave a comment, say what you had for dinner, and give me a little engagement for the Borg. And we are in an area that is scary, folks. We're getting clouded and pivoted by numerous people that really want to remake the country, and this is how they're going to do it. So we're in uncharted territory. This is going to be bad. So I don't know what's going to happen with Trump. I don't know, but whole thing has just gotten dumb. So I guess we'll find out more tomorrow. All right, folks. God bless. We'll see you tomorrow. PrepperNow.